Hi, my name is Nomalanga Mhlauli-Moses with SuccessfulBlackWoman.com. I'm here with Shauquita Graham with LovingTheBlackMan.com and TheTechCode.teachable.com. How are you doing today, Shauquita?
I'm doing great, Noma. How are you?
I'm doing great. The story that we're about to discuss, I know, has your blood boiling, but I'll jump right into it. The title of it is that Black women have 59%, or 59% of Black women have multiple babies dead. That's the title. And the article's at rollingout.com. The person who wrote it says, as if Black women needed more wretched news to strengthen the stereotype of them as oversexed animals with low character and self-esteem. There's now a study that could be classified as how does this help America? University of Michigan demographer Cassandra Dorius, the study's author, states that 28% of American women with two or more children have them with more than one father. Tragically, the percentage for Black women is more than twice the national average. The study concludes that more than 59% of Black women who have more than one child also have multiple baby daddies. Their words, not mine. Hispanics are a distant second at 35%, with white women holding steady at 22%. So what are your thoughts, Peter?
I just feel like, I think what a famous person might feel like sometimes, like, all you do is talk about me. Like, the media constantly talks about Black people. Like, they're always studying us. And, I just feel like they are really obsessed with us and our habits and why we do things. It's like, study your dang on self, man. I don't give a blank what these people think. And I think as Black people, we have to get over the propaganda that they're constantly putting out to try to shove down our throat some kind of idea about who we are and what we are. Yeah, I mean, maybe the rate is high. I don't know if it is or not, because if I can't even take my child to a doctor to get vaccinated without them being poisoned, as we find that the CDC was doing to Black children, how can I even believe statistics? So, I mean, some of this stuff I don't believe. And if it's true, I really don't care, because I wonder why do you always want to talk about me, the Black woman, or the Black man? I mean, keep my name out your mouth.
I think the story has, two sides. On the one hand, I hear what you're saying. There are so many things that could be said about Black women. I think just before we started recording the segment, I was mentioning to you that I keep reading article over article, usually written by Black media, that talks about Black women being the most educated. They get degrees the most, they get the highest level of degrees, and they're performing well in the workplace. So those are things that if the media wanted to really look at something positive and look at some accomplishments, although I don't think a career by itself is an accomplishment, but you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They really wanted to look at Black women and say something about them that was positive. There's a lot to find. I do, however, feel that anytime the media has a very big interest in what Black people or Black women are doing, it's always something that they perceive as negative. And again, in the segment, before we recorded the segment, I was just talking about a couple of days ago, I recorded another video talking about the incident that happened at the Cincinnati Zoo. And my title of the thing was, are we really trying to question or debate whether the life of a gorilla, an animal, is more valuable than that of a 4-year-old Black kid? A Black boy. And the truth is, this story has since started to unravel and unravel and unravel. First of all, of course, they're questioning this Black woman. They're saying she's a negligent mother. Then the other thing is the father, who wasn't even there, was investigated by the media, not by the police, although they're also being investigated by the police. Was investigated until they were publishing his old criminal records and just digging deep and finding every negative thing that they can say is your fault. You people did this to this gorilla. Never mind the fact that there was a little boy's life at stake. So I'm not surprised that we're seeing a study, and I believe that we're going to see more studies. I remember there was a study some years ago that talked about that Black women's facial features are the ugliest. by some. He was an English. He looked Asian, but he was at an English. At an English college or university. The professor who wrote it. I don't know if you remember it.
I really don't. And I mean, I just don't care what other people's opinion of me is. I embrace my Blackness, from the hair to the name to all of that. You know, I feel like as a Black community, we have to stop being defined and being concerned about what people who hate us, people who, have, really seem to have like this whole jealousy thing about us. I mean, who cares? Like, we need to just get out here and live and do the things that we need to do as far as building our community, educating ourselves, building businesses and institutions. I want to be focused on those things, not what somebody in the media decided to write about me. And I already know that it doesn't even have to be based in fact. They're going to find a reason to drag the Black image through the mud. And so, I'm just not concerned. It doesn't matter to me. And really, I just think that they are jealous because that's what they always find a reason to talk about Black women. And why are Black women doing this? And why are Black men doing this? And and the whole time that we've been in their presence, they've been trying to destroy us, our families and all that. So they should be happy if the Black women are doing all of these things that are negative.
I think it is valid to, on the other hand, ask the question of, supposing this was not white media or mainstream media, and we did have a statistic of almost 60% of Black women having multiple babies with multiple fathers. I think the question does need to be asked amongst ourselves, not splashed on headlines, but I think the question does need to be asked amongst ourselves. If that is the way we want to move forward, because we do say we want to move forward. We do say that we want families. And I think that's a valid, topic of, and I know it's difficult. Most people don't like it. Actually, people get angry and very, very mean-spirited when you bring it up, especially if they feel like you're talking about them. I do think, however, it's something that does need to be put on the table. And it does warrant discussion. It does warrant questioning. And you do have to ask yourself, and I have to ask myself, is this what we want? And I would strongly say no. I think that it needs to be discussed, and a better way forward needs to be analyzed. We need to come up with a better way forward.
I mean, we absolutely do need to come up with many different things, but, I feel like it's just kind of like with a married couple. When you keep letting outsiders into your marriage, you don't have a way of figuring it out for yourself. If we just got rid of half of the outsiders that focus on our how we do everything, then we could come up with solutions. And that's why I'm so adamant about not focusing on what they say and not even really giving them any kind of attention for it, because that's what it's all about. Them trying to force an image and an idea down our throat, just like this whole new roots thing. I mean, God, how many times can you tell a slave story? I'm all for the slave stories if you can balance it with other things. But of course, we know that white supremacist media is not going to do that. So I choose to ignore them, and I choose not to participate in their shenanigans,
Okay, the lady has spoken. My name is Nomalanga Mhlauli-Moses with SuccessfulBlackWoman.com. We'll end there. My good friend Shauquita Graham with LovingTheBlackMan.com and ateco.teachable.com. Join us for more segments, and thank you for watching. Shauquita, thank you for another great segment.
Thank you, Noma. Thank you for watching.